The ratings for Greg Gutfeld's conservative late night show over at Fox crushes the leftist Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert. How's that to round off our week, right? That's right. The ratings are out, and Greg Gutfeld's pro-Trump, pro-nationalist, populist late night show is completely trouncing Kimmel and Colbert. We're going to take a look at the latest round of ratings and see why we may be looking at nothing less than the beginning of a new era of conservative late night television. I think you're absolutely love it. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. A wonderful brand new month of May to each and every one of you. If this is your first time here on this channel, we analyze current events and analyze some super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. And it doesn't get better than that, does it? So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. You're going to absolutely love being a regular part of this channel and interacting with this network of conservatives from all over the world. Let's start with the video chat question of the day. We haven't been doing those in a while, but you'll like this one. Which late night host do you despise more, Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel? Let us know in the comment section below. I've actually done that video chat question before. I couldn't hide it. I don't know if you remember that if you've been a regular to this channel, but I think it's a particularly apropos question for today's video. Which late night host do you despise more, Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel? Let us know in the comment section below. And make sure to tell us why you despise the one over the other. This should make for an awesome comment thread. It's almost a trick question if you think it through. The answer here is a legitimate yes, both. And it really doesn't matter because both of their ratings are plummeting, as we'll get into in a moment. Now, before we get into the triumph of late night conservative television, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's Collagen, available at healthwithsteveturley.com. Now, if you don't know, collagen may be really the closest thing we'll ever get to a real fountain of youth. Many health experts now agree that consuming collagen is crucial as it gets to renew and revitalize how we look and feel. Taking collagen regularly can revitalize your body, make your skin, bones, and even your hair look and feel more healthy and youthful. Now, if you're interested in learning more about collagen and getting your own supply, then visit healthwithsteveturley.com or just click on the link below and check it out. You'll be glad that you did. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. You know, we've featured on a number of our past videos the fledgling ratings for the ultra-left late-night show host Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert, okay? Now, we'll get into that in a minute, but it never fails to awaken so much joy and delight within me when I reflect on how their ratings have plunged over the years. And when we take stock of that ratings meltdown, a lot of you have asked in the comment section before, where is the thoroughly conservative version of late night? In many ways, if you think of it, Johnny Carson was, right? He was so classy, extremely witty. His guests were always top-notch. He had classical musicians. He had some of the best up-and-coming comments. I still remember he even had George Carl on his show. George Carl was an old vaudeville performer. He was on there in the show a couple of times, and he did his original vaudeville act. But since Carson, there really hasn't been a good conservative alternative to all the left-wing shilling and virtue signaling that's spewed out night after night on Kimmel and Colbert. Until now, you'll be happy to know that Fox News' Greg Gutfeld's weekly Saturday night program has officially surpassed the ratings for both CBS's Late Show with Stephen Colbert and ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live. Gutfeld's late night program is consistently earning, get this, just shy of 3 million nightly viewers, 2.9 million to be exact. And what makes these numbers so amazing is that these are ratings for a Saturday night, late night television on cable, which generally are very low. And what we're seeing with Gutfeld, in radical contrast to the great awakenings over at Colbert and Kimmel, what we're seeing is a thoroughly pro-Trump, pro-nationalist, pro-populist program that loves our country, our culture, our customs, and our traditions. Gutfeld is genuinely funny and witty. He has great guests, and he celebrates and indeed defends in funny and yet profoundly insightful ways all that is good about our nation. I mean, the contrast here with Colbert and Kimmel simply could not be more stark. And we've talked about this before, but both Kimmel and Colbert have deliberately attempted to partisanize their shows. They've deliberately sought to turn their shows into shills for all things left-wing. It's basically a different kind of business model that's responding to the increasing segmentization of viewing audiences. So whereas Johnny Carson was appearing on late night television when, you only had a few channels to choose from, ABC, NBC, CBS. Now, of course, you have thousands of channels to choose from. I mean, you bring the internet into this. I mean, they're literally innumerable. You have countless channels and venues to watch, so audiences have become increasingly segmented. And so what the producers at the late night shows have been doing is they've decided to partisanize their show, deliberately turning them into shows that rabid left-wing liberals would want to watch, since, of course, all the producers and late night show hosts are themselves rabid liberals. And as I understand it, was Stephen Colbert over at CBS that first made this move to deliberately reach out to a thoroughly left-wing audience. So he made mocking and ridiculing and excoriating Trump and his supporters a centerpiece of his act. And in so doing, he quickly overtook Jimmy Fallon of NBC in the ratings. And so what Colbert effectively did was he changed the business model of late-night television. And as a result of Colbert's success in taking over first place among the three major late-night shows, the old late-night business model that sought to entertain people of all political persuasions has been effectively replaced by a hyper-partisan approach that seeks to actively engage only a single political demographic, in this case, the anti-Trump liberal secularist persuasion, subjecting any and all pro-Trump conservative persuasions as objects of constant scorn and ridicule. You may remember that when Jimmy Kimmel was asked about whether he was worried about losing Republican viewers by virtue of his own attempt at attracting the same anti-Trump liberal base that Colbert had effectively co-opted into his audience, he basically said good riddance, right? He actually said, rather than saying good riddance, I just say riddance, as if that made any sense. Which, again, is just frankly so unclever in his part. It's so uncreative, so intellectually lazy. What Kimmel is getting at here is that he and his producers recognize that when he says anything inflammatory against Trump, his ratings go up. Same with Colbert. And so the business model that the producers of these late shows are pushing is one that goes after niche markets, particularly political niche markets. So this appears to be what Colbert and Kimmel have over Jimmy Fallon of The Tonight Show, who's generally, to his credit, stayed away from political niche markets. But as a result, he's seen his ratings decline. And so what Colbert and Kimmel are trying to do is become the late night kings of this ever more partisan and yet ever more shrinking and dwindling market share. Well, that was all before a conservative candidate came into the mix, and that's where we have Greg Gutfeld of Fox News. Gutfeld's Saturday night show is attracting an audience size that these leftist liberals could only dream of. While Gutfeld is pulling in 3 million viewers, Colbert is barely bringing in 2 million viewers. And remember, that's down dramatically from where CBS's late night show used to be. Since taking over from David Letterman, Colbert's ratings have dropped from 4 million to just half of that in a matter of just a few years, to barely 2 million. So this year's opening season saw a viewer decline for Colbert of 30%. For Kimmel, things are even worse. Kimmel's viewership is down 16% from where it was last year, but Kimmel's barely getting 1 million viewers. Gutfeld has 3 times the audience as Kimmel. So what we're seeing here is that the liberal left late night hosts are fighting each other over what's left of their left-wing audience, while Gutfeld is tapping into a conservative audience that the liberals over at ABC and CBS have thus far ignored. And he's demonstrating now for all to see that the conservative audience is just as formidable, if not more so, than any numbers constituting a left-wing audience. So well done, Greg Gutfeld. I hope it's the beginning of many, many more wonderful things to come for a new conservative late night show. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out the video I just uploaded on how the legacy media's attempt to cover up Biden's sexual assault allegations is completely and totally collapsing thanks to the triumph of the new media, the alternative media. You're absolutely going to love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.